Howdy folks, Sauber here. Welcome back to the channel. So, as you may noticed, the new intro is ready and is being used, so I'm really happy about that. And also, sorry for the lack of uploads. I've been a bit busy lately, and I'll get more into detail on that in a moment, but first off, wow. The K52, or excuse me, the K50, the one-seater version. I'm not going to read into it in detail, but this is a rather interesting machine, and needless to say, some people are clearly not too happy about it. The Potato 27 says, another money-milking machine. So what's the reason for this one being a premium and not a regular Tech Tree helicopter? Yeah, Man even says, K50 was only short production run helicopter, so it's more suited for rank 6 premium like other nations receive, blah, 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 blah. Russia will have mass-produced in far numbers helicopters rank 7. So I guess maybe, what's it called? The K52? And I just realized I didn't get to finish reading that comment, but basically he was talking about, no top tier premium vehicles, whatnot. Well, that was a very long time ago, and I won't get into that. But now sorry, I blew a fuse right there for a moment. But more of these more advanced helicopters are now being added into the game. Now, I will be honest, I'm briefly showcasing the Eurocopter Tiger via test flight, as I don't have it at the moment. And watch how crazy it's able to lock onto the MiG-15 from so far away, and how effective that heat-seeking missile is. Look at that tracking. Easy peasy. And look at this, the thing can even do a barrel roll. Now, I did at one point consider getting the Eurocopter Tiger back when it was in pre-order stage, but I will be honest, I changed my mind mainly because I wasn't sure. It was like, sure, it has good maneuverability, but I wasn't sure how overpowered it would be compared to the helicopters I do have, like the Mi24 V, for example. And then so we get into the gameplay footage with the Mi24 V. Now, as you'll soon notice, this is one of my older recordings. I had recorded this literally, I think, a couple of weeks before 1.91 officially dropped. Let me check the log. Oh, okay, it was towards the end of July. Now, I was trying to debate which video I should cover next, because literally it has gotten to the point where I have some finished processed videos, just minus the narration, or commentary rather, and they're just lying around. And I was like, which one should I do next? Then I saw the K50's dev blog. I keep wanting to say K52. The K50's dev blog, and I was like, yep, I need to talk about helicopters. Why? Well, I'll get into that in a moment. First things first, I apologize for the lack of uploads lately. War Thunder is going through another one of those meta is down things, where it's like, oh, and by the way, I have been getting some modest games with the F4 Phantom. Not a whole lot, but a few, and I think the next video will be about the F4. Don't expect anything too crazy, though, because some of the matches were mediocre. Although I did get one good one, so without spoiling anything, it is going to be uncut. Simply because of how pretty good it was compared to the other games. Because usually what I'll do is I'll cut the boring parts out, such as takeoff or traveling towards where the enemy is, that sort of thing. Not this one gameplay. It will be uncut. So you'll have to wait and see what that's all about. And then, of course, the issue with the tanks and whatnot, repair costs. Although Russia, surprisingly, has been having decent repair costs for the MBTs, like the T80U and the T80B. The T80U and T80B lineup has been working out pretty good for me. I mean, sure, I don't always make a profit. There is the occasion I make a deficit, but at least I'm not guaranteed to make a deficit, like if I played the M1A1, M1IP together, or the Leopard 2A5 and the Leopard 2A4 in a lineup. But I'm not going to go too deeply into that because I already covered that in a previous video with the meta is down at the moment video I posted back in June, I think. I think it was June. But I'll link that video in the description below as I give a more detailed discussion about the issues with repair costs and balancing and whatnot. But anyway, going to the Mi24. Now, granted, as I mentioned earlier, this was recorded before the G-Lynx and the Eurocopter Tiger were added to the game with their insane air-to-air missiles. But nonetheless, this gameplay you're seeing here with my Mi24 V in helicopter during confrontation illustrates finally, just as much as a more recent gameplay would, the issue with helicopter EC at the moment. I gotta say, as much as I enjoy it, even more recently now, it's just a mess. It is an absolute mess. I mean, and they recently had that discussion thread posted with like giving feedback for helicopter and during confrontation and whatnot. Or helicopters in general, since it's been more than a year since they've added helicopters, but I'm really hoping that with the feedback provided, that they'll change up, make some much needed changes to helicopter EC, because as you'll soon see through this gameplay, the amount of helicopter kills I get with the air-to-air missiles is just ridiculous. Especially the poor ones that simply do not have any countermeasures, like the UH-1 Huey, the AH-1 Cobra, the Mi-4V, or Mi-4V, Mi-4M, the early Mi-4, I forget its exact designation, but the Mi-4. And then you also have the French H-34, the Owlette, both the French and German version, etc. Basically, the starter helicopters that have no way of defending themselves against air-to-air missiles whatsoever. It's like, if you see an air-to-air missile coming at you, you might as well J out. It's really that hopeless if you have an air-to-air missile coming at you. But then again, even the helicopters with countermeasures, you don't really see it in this video because, you know, this was before the Eurocopter Tiger was added. But there are times where you'll get a rocket or a missile launched at you and you don't even get a warning. Now, sure, that may be realistic and all, but it's kind of ridiculous. You practically have to launch flares and maneuver like crazy before the rocket is even launched. Now, I know some people are probably like, but it's an air-to-air missile. Well, blame Gaijin, folks. Blame Gaijin, because for over a year it's been saying like the rocket has been launched instead of the missile has been launched. So it's literally, I've literally gotten stuck with that terminology, just calling it a rocket. So I apologize for that. Sometimes I'll say missile, sometimes I'll say rocket. Yeah. And to deviate a little, when I was checking the scoreboard there, when I was recording the replay, and I checked it before the patch dropped, and I could obviously hear another helicopter. It wasn't a teammate, it had to be enemy, but I just could not figure out where it was. It was strange. It was like just invisible. Unless maybe it was one of those annoying sound bugs. Not the kind that happens post 1.91, but where it's like an air vehicle is destroyed and its engine sound continues to run. Apparently that still happens even after 1.91 has been released. And I'm not going to go too deeply into the sound issues with 1.91. Sure, it's a new sound engine, and it's nice that they're making things more realistic and more modern, but on occasion you will get that annoying ear-ripping noise where it's like that static sound. It is just, it gives you a headache if you have to listen to it for a while. Not too long ago, I was playing Ground Forces at low tier, which I've been enjoying a lot, by the way. And I'm sorry, I was about to get ahead of myself there, and I got that annoying sound bug. I had to mute the game volume because it was really hurting my head. My head was hurting afterwards. And it's like, sure, it can't really be helped. It's a new engine. So hopefully they'll fix that soon. But yeah. So briefly going on ground forces, when I'm not playing Russian top tier, I have been enjoying a lot of low tier battles both with the Americans, the Russians, and the Germans. At like, for example, 3.0 to 4.0, that sort of thing. It's really enjoyable because it's more easygoing at that BR, easier paced. Paced? Pace. That sort of thing. It's kind of hard to explain unless you play it yourself. I don't know why, it's just a lot more enjoyable. Like, if you get destroyed in your vehicle, no problem. You can spawn in another one. It doesn't cost that much, both in spawn points and in repair costs. And especially when it comes to close air support, some people might like this, some people might not. I like it because I actually can do something in my plane. And there was one battle where I spawned it in my 410, got 2 ground units, and then was able to destroy 3 aircraft. 2 of them were ground strikers. And I felt like I was able to accomplish something nice from that battle. It was very much enjoyable. And I really wish the same could be said for top tier. But for various reasons that I will not go into detail, that's just not possible. With the current meta, that is, you know, tank realistic battles at top tier, it's just not doing all that great in general. It's not that any one nation has a problem. It's not that any one nation has a better repair cost or a worse repair cost. It's just not doing that great at the moment. So hopefully we can see a change in the next patch. There's always the next patch, right? I still remember the people saying fix the game in 1.91. Night vision? Get into a battle at night and you don't have night vision on your vehicle, be it because it historically did not have it or you don't have it unlocked. Yeah, good luck to you. You're basically being sent blindfolded. But I digress. Oh, don't get me started on the air battles issue. The spotting, you can see okay, but the spotting system, as you may know, is not really that great. So going back to helicopters, I will be honest, like I mentioned before, I did not think that the Eurocopter Tiger was going to perform as well as it did, and it kind of made me regret not buying it, because I bought the Phantom instead. Now, I know what you're thinking, Sauber, why couldn't you have played simulator battles or just like grinded it the old-fashioned way? Like, well, I didn't really, I mean, I knew simulator battles gave pretty good rewards, but I didn't really notice it that well until someone posted a screenshot on Fly's Discord showing how he was able to get the Mi24 in just 3 games. That's right, just 3 games while playing simulator battles with the Talisman IL-28. Yeah, amazing, isn't it? So I thought, hey, I'll do the same. I already have a Talisman on my IL-28. Just load the 3,000 kilogram bomb some airfields, return to base, and repeat. And I have to admit, that was actually quite a lot of fun. From a gameplay standpoint, that would be kind of boring, right? But from my standpoint, it was actually pretty nice and enjoyable. Like, people were actually talking in the chat, having a good time, you know? I really did enjoy it. And needless to say, I was able to get the MiG-21 fairly quickly through that, which, coincidentally enough, I was also able to get within 3 games. Technically 2.5, because by the time I was getting into my 3rd game, I only had 10,000 RP left. So I could have done a realistic battle in... Hoorah! Realistic battle. Good lord. In my MiG-19 or whatever, but I thought, hey, dude, keep on doing simulator. It's just that the problem at that point becomes is that not all the nations have a modest jet bomber. Now, granted, the B-57B has a bigger bomb load, and sure is not as fast, and you can do more damage to a base, but the problem is it costs an arm and a leg to spawn in, because in air simulator battles you have to pay silver per spawn, because you have unlimited respawns. So the IL-28 is the cheaper solution. It's just that the problem now is that I have literally all the Russian aircraft, non-premium Russian aircraft, unlocked and researched. But yeah. But had I known how effective jet bombers were, I probably would have done the Phantom that way, but you can't change the past, so there's no point in rambling about that. So going to the Eurocopter Tiger, I then thought about getting it afterwards, but then I thought, wait a minute. The Eurocopter Tiger and the G-Lynx are pretty advanced helicopters now, given that they are both at rank 6. So I was like, should I get the Eurocopter Tiger now? Or wait until they announce something bigger? Because surely that... I knew in my mind, surely that means something bigger is to come. And sure enough, it did. The announcement of the Ka-50. And I was thinking, oh, well, I'll buy that. But then very quickly I realized, no, I should hold my horses there. What if, just what if, they add the Apache? Yeah. Now, going back on, I forgot the guy's name, Potato Something's comment about why wasn't it added to the main tree. My theory, this is just a theory, at the time of the making of this video, there's no confirmation of its addition, let alone anything to suspect, but maybe they're adding the Ka-52 to the main tree, and the Ka-50 as a premium. Because that's kind of what they did with the Eurocopter Tiger, at least for the French. They added a tech tree version, and then a premium version. So, does that mean we could expect... Oh yeah, I can't forget the G-Lynx. They added the Lynx to the main tree, and then the G-Lynx as a premium. So, my question is, could we get the Apache in the next patch as well? Both a premium version and a non-premium version. We'll just have to wait and see. But in either case, I'm definitely saving my money to potentially get a premium AH-64. I definitely would like to get that. Hopefully, it'll have air-to-air missiles. I don't know too much about helicopters as much as I do about aircraft and tanks, to be honest, so I'm not entirely sure. Besides, even if it does get air-to-air missiles IRL, which versions would you get in-game? Hence, we'll just have to wait and see. But then that brings up the problem that I kind of mentioned towards the beginning of the video. What are they going to do with Helicopter EC? Helicopter Enduring Confrontation. As you know, the BRs literally mean nothing in Helicopter EC. Only in tank realistic battles do they even have a meaning. Like this 1950s Owlette can face a Eurocopter Tiger, which is from 2003. Went into service in 2003, that is. That's like a difference of 50 years. And then, I don't know when the Mistral, I think that's what they're called, Mistral missiles went into service, but those things, those are some pretty excellent missiles. I gotta say, they're really, really good. Especially if you see it coming and you have countermeasures, you gotta hope that you spray enough flares and maneuver quick enough to be able to avoid them, because those heat seekers are incredible. Now, granted, the Eurocopter Tiger is not God mode. It's not invulnerable, right? Like, I've shot a few Eurocopter Tigers down, and I've seen them shot down a number of times before. But nonetheless, they are absolutely powerful helicopters. So with that being said, I'm hoping that at some point in the near future, hopefully before 1.93 is released, that they will make, I guess you could say, a distinction between the higher tiers and the lower tiers. Like, make it to where the helicopters that don't have air-to-air missiles, that don't have air-to-air missile countermeasures, like flares, for example, from being able to face helicopters that do. Like, I really should not be facing Owlettes while flying in my Mi24 V, for example. Or if I'm flying my AH-1G, I really shouldn't have to face the Eurocopter Tiger, which can take me out from far range before I can even see him. That sort of thing. And then, if that's not enough, really though, as much as I've enjoyed Helicopter EC, they really need to add some more diversity to it. More missions, more objectives. I won't go into detail, but just really make it more interesting. But that's just me. In all honesty, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of possibilities that could make Helicopter EC more interesting. I just can't think of it at this time. So if you have any ideas, please feel free to share them with me in the comments below. I really appreciate it when I get feedback in regards to the game. But yeah. So the last two things I briefly want to talk about, first things first, is I noticed some people, not a lot of people, but some people have been talking about the map rotation, at least as far as ground forces are concerned. Because as you know, in 1.91, they added the map dislike and blacklist feature, the latter if you have a premium account. But since 1.91, it's possible to get some teeny tiny maps at top BR. Like, for example, if you are playing your M3 Bradley, for example, I say that because that's what I was taking when I got this, it's possible to get Ash River. That's right. When I was playing in a squad at like 9.0, because we were 8.3, but we got up tier to 9.0, we got Ash River. As silly as that map was, even though we lost the game, it really felt like we were a bunch of clowns trying to cram into a Volkswagen Beetle. It was kind of ridiculous. And my theory behind that, this is just a theory, I have no confirmation of this, is because so many players are blacklisting and disliking an assortment of tank maps. I don't know if this is the same case for air battles maps, but for tanks maps, Gaijin's like, it seems like the community is blacklisting a huge variety of maps. Soon the queue times will be super long. So let's make it to where all the tank maps are available to play, regardless of your battle ranking. But that's just my theory. In all honesty, that would make a lot of sense, to me anyway. So the final subject I'd like to briefly talk about, you're really gonna like the analogy I use in this regard, is kind of how difficult top tier battles are to enjoy both for aircraft and tanks. It's like, mostly for tanks, because at least with aircraft you can still make some money even at top tier, but tanks, as you know well, not so much. And this is my little example I like to use to explain my frustration with that. Mainly in regards to silver, and also just being able to enjoy it in general. Like, I really think that, especially at top tier battles, they should try to focus on making it to where, in order to win a battle, it's more than just shooting the bad guys. Because, as I've mentioned before, I'm cool if I lose a battle and I'm still alive, or at least be it if it's my first vehicle or second vehicle or even my third vehicle. Because then I know, hey, I did all I could, no biggie. But if you're destroyed at the end of the battle and can't respawn, it's like, you know, what more could I have done? Sure, we still may have lost, but I could have done more. That sort of thing. My example I put it to this, and my dad really liked this, was this. I want to enjoy that mouth-watering, juicy sirloin steak that is top tier. Why do I call it a steak? Because not everybody gets to play it. You either need to buy a top tier premium or grind your way through months and years of sweat and tears in order to enjoy them. I just want to enjoy top tier. I'm not asking for more silver. I'm not asking for more RP. Okay, maybe just enough silver to where you can make a modest profit. Just enough to where you're not a deficit every single game. Okay. I'm not even asking for more golden eagles, as Sean would probably prefer. But all jokes aside, though, I just want to enjoy top tier. And sure, you can enjoy low tier, which I like to call the grilled cheese sandwich, which, I'll be honest, I like grilled cheese sandwiches. Who doesn't? I like low tier, but it's not always what I want to play. I want to play top tier. And sure, there's custom battles, but as you know very well, it's not the same experience. You don't unlock anything. You don't earn anything from it. You're just playing. And someone not too long ago mentioned to me, Sauber, why don't you try tank arcade battles? Yeah, you can do that at low BR, but not top BR, because not everybody plays top BR for various reasons, which I will have to get into more in a future video. But all in all, Gaijin, I really want to enjoy that steak. I like grilled cheese, but please, let me enjoy the steak. But I digress. Anyway, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you're enjoying the video so far. I really appreciate all the support you've given me, be it through nice comments, the likes, and also the new subscriptions that I've received. New subscribers, that is, I should say. Even during the times like this one where I've been uploading less often. If all goes according to plan, hopefully I can have this video uploaded by the 15th of October, that is a Tuesday, but I'll cross my fingers and see how it goes. But anyway, that is it for today's video. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Please, stay safe out there. Things are pretty crazy at the moment. I won't get into detail, but it's kind of scary, to be honest. And no, it's not Halloween, it's other things. But anyway, have a great day, stay safe, and peace out.